Hey, this is Dave, by the way, back with another 4.3 5-man dungeon guide and walkthrough. I'm going to show you all 4 bosses plus the final boss. Now, the way this works is you will only do 2 of the first 4 bosses. It will be random. When you first walk in, you're going to click on the portal, and you are going to be ported to your first boss. This one is the Echo of Bane. This trash right here is easy to deal with. You do want to avoid the flames that are on the ground floating around because they will do substantial damage, and it's a pain in the butt to heal through. But basically, grab you don't have to kill all of the packs. You can make a little pathway if you want to, depending on your playstyle and if the tank wants to. You do, but you can just go down the left side and avoid killing all the packs. You just have to remember that when you're on your way back. But like I said, remember to avoid the flame on the ground because they do hurt you. Now, the way Bane is going to work is you can see in the background in the lava there are 4 floating platforms, little rocks. Bane is on the farthest one away from you right now. You're going to want to split the group up between the 2 that are in the middle. Facing him, the tank's going to run right out to him. Once in a while he'll do a stomp. It's called pulverize, and he will... Oh, no, yeah. Pulverize. He will jump to one of the near platforms and destroy it. So you gotta be ready to jump out. Now, you do take a little bit of damage from going in the fire. It actually amps up the damage that fire damage does to you. But what you're going to do here is you're going to split up the group. Like I said, tank obviously goes right out to Bane. Once in a while he does a move called Throw Totem. And what happens is that he throws it at one random person. I don't think it's ever the tank, but I'm not completely sure of that. But he's going to throw the totem at somebody, and then that person gets knocked back, usually sent into the fire. They have to swim back to the platform as quick as possible. You have to right-click on the totem to throw it back to him. It stuns him, does some physical damage. You can just kind of open up on him for a short period of time. But as you can see, right off to the left, somebody just got thrown backwards into the fire. Now you can see somebody picked up the totem. When you right-click on it, it becomes an item in your hand, and you get a little green targeting circle. You have to target relatively close to him, usually right down in his feet, and you'll be fine. Now there's Pulverize. He jumps off to another platform, destroying it. Everybody just go to another one that you are in range of and can still attack the boss if you're a ranged character. Obviously melee will be on the same platform as the tank. In this specific group we had me healing, and I think Mage and Hunter, something else, and so it was all ranged. But basically all he does, and see, he just hit the person standing next to me. I picked up the totem, threw it back to him, hit him. He's stunned. Beat him up a little bit more. Pulverize destroys the thing I was standing on. Immediately get back. He'll go back to whoever he has aggro on, and the tank wants to make sure he doesn't pull him out of the lava right here, but when he's in the lava he gets a buff on his hands that makes him do a little bit more physical damage. You see right there I just got hit with the totem, so it does knock you back. But that's basically it. Pound him down. Usually if you're quick enough he won't destroy more than 2. I've never even had him destroy more than 2. And then you basically just run right back to the portal you came through, and the next portal, the next area will be open for you, and it's going to be another random boss if this was your first boss. Again, watch out for that fire. And we're out to the Echo of Jana. Jana? Okay, now what's going to happen is there's fragments floating all around her. What you're going to do is go around and collect them. I think there's 16. You just right click on them, and the counter's up at the top. It does not something you physically pick up. The trash mobs are easy to take care of. Nothing special with them. You can crowd control if you need to. But just burn them down. Make sure somebody's running around picking up the fragments of her. It's the fragments of her staff or something. Once you take out all of the patrol, and as you can see I'm running ahead a little bit, grabbing those fragments. Once you take out all of them, the trash mobs, and you grab all of the fragments, the fight with Jana, the Echo of Jana, will begin. Trash mobs are not that difficult. There's one that it's doing some damage on my tank here, but nothing I can't heal through for now. It's nothing serious. Continue around the circle, grabbing the fragments, taking out the patrol trash. I think there's maybe three or four. I think there's 4 groups you take out total before you actually fight the boss. Now, Jana's main abilities are she's gonna use a blink, kind of like she's a mage. Obviously, she's using blink. She just goes 10-15 feet away. And she's gonna run over to get her. Flare core. She hurls a glowing flare core ember at the ground near one of the people in the party. This has to be stomped out just by running over and stomping on it. If you don't, it'll explode and do a decent amount of damage, inflicting between 5,000 and 50,000 fire damage to anybody within 5 yards. And usually when she throws it specifically at a person. So once that hits the ground, you want to have somebody just run over and stomp it out. Not incredibly difficult. You just run over and it goes out. You have a decent amount of time once it hits. She does frost blades, which she will cast, and this is actually, you'll see this in a couple of the fights in this dungeon, or in the total dungeon, but 3 blades will come flying out. They're really slow and easy to avoid. If they do hit you, they send you flying backwards a little bit, and you are encased in a block of ice, stunning you for 5 seconds. If it hits the healer at a critical moment, that could be a bad thing. She also does Frostbolt Volley. She inflicts 20,000 frost damage to a nearby enemy within 65 yards and reduces their movement speed for 30 seconds by 30% for 4 seconds. And now we're engaging her right here. And there is the Flame Core. You can see I just having some lure errors there, but I'm just run over and stomp it out. That is the Frostbolt Volley, where she hits everybody. It's easy to heal through. It slows everybody down, especially if you're trying to avoid certain things. Here come the Frost Blades, split into 3 and spread out. You can step in between them. It's not a big deal, but just don't get hit by it. There's another Ember. And see, I just went through there, so it's not something you can't dodge. She did her blink there. Got a little bit behind my healing, so I dropped a little Tranquility. There's a blink with a Frostblade. Easy to avoid. And you knock her down. Head back to the portal and head on over to the next area. If this is your second boss, you will head on to the final boss, but I'm going to go on to the 3rd one now. Remember, you only do 2 of the 4. It's random, and then you do the final boss. This is the Echo of Sylvanas. The trash here is nothing special. Hose it down. I'm actually, in this clip, playing my mage, so a lot of AoE damage. Just gotta hunter there, multi-shotting, just taking everything down. You just work your way over to her. There's not too many sets of trash here, maybe 3 or 4 before you get to her. Now she's going to do a couple of specific things during the fight. Just hosing down these trash mobs, no big deal. Okay, now she has those ghouls around her. That spot that was just marked was marked by the tank. At a certain point, you'll be pulled into the middle, completely surrounded, and you'll have to break through the barrier of ghouls that are coming at you to get out, or you're gonna get messed up. Now in the DPS position, you just avoid that purple stuff. Our hunter keeps getting targeted with it and getting hit by it. It does a decent amount of damage, and it decreases your movement speed if you get hit by it. Once it's on the ground, just get out of the way. If you get hit with it, no big deal. Now, at this point, she goes immune. You cannot damage her anymore, and she'll pull everybody in, create this big purple circle around you. Now you can see where the red area was. That's where that ghoul is. We're going to kill him. Burn him down. Can't do any more damage to her right now during this phase, but you burn down the one ghoul. Doesn't matter which one, just one of them, and it opens up a pathway and you can walk right out. Once she gets in there, she does a move called Sacrifice, I believe. It does 300,000 shadow damage, so if you don't break down that ghoul, you're gonna wipe. Once in a while, she does fire Black Arrow. Explosive Black Arrow at a random player, inflicting 60,000 shadow damage. Players within 10 yards of the target. She does an Unholy Shot, where she will target targets a barrage of missiles at a random player, striking up to 3 players within 10 yards of the target. That's I believe that's the green one that you see every once in a while getting shot out. And once in a while, the bladed arrows. Now you can see we got pulled in again. This happens, I believe, 3 times in this fight. We almost get her down before the third one happens. But going for the same ghoul, everybody's hammering it down. Pure damage, you just need to kill it quick. And then she does Sacrifice. Sacrifice has a 11-yard radius. There's the purple stuff, stay out of that. And she will actually pull us in one more time before we kill her. We almost got her down all the way. Another move she does is called Bladed Arrows. She blades the ground in a 3-yard radius circle beneath a random player and leaps toward the sky. The blade inflicts 35,000 damage every 1 second, and reduces the movement speed by 50% of any player standing within it. Something that's relatively easy to avoid because it makes a circle on the ground. Now, see, we couldn't get her down all the way, so we have to fight off her ghouls one more time. And we get out. She does Sacrifice, and we finish her off. Run back to the original portal. See, I got caught with that purple stuff right there. Not a massive amount of damage. Just slows you down. Makes it a little bit harder to get out. Finish her off, run back to the portal, and you are on to the next one, Echo of Tyrande. Now, the mobs here are going to be these tigers. I believe they're tigers or panthers, but they have a a buff on them that they can't take any damage unless they are brought into this white circle of light. It takes the buff off, and they don't necessarily need to stay in there, because once the light's gone, the buff doesn't come back. So you're just gonna follow the same path every time. Light comes down, tank grabs all the tigers, burn them down inside the white. Don't have to get all of the panthers. There's some that are going to be straggling off on the outside. Just basically, when the white light pops up, run to it. The panthers will flock to you anyway. Bring them in, hose them down, done. Move on. You can see the white light's gone, but those two are still taking damage. Because what happens is the buff is gone, but see, I ran ahead as a healer and I was just getting hammered there by these panthers. So you want to be careful about that. And you do that like 3 or 4 times. Basically, trash pulls on all the bosses or 3 or 4 times, and then you go on to the main boss. Now this is the Echo of Tyrande. One of her main moves is called Stardust. This needs to be interrupted. It inflicts 50,000 arcane damage to all players. The tank needs to interrupt that. And like Sylvanas, or Jana, she's got the triple thread action there. Easy to avoid. If it hits you, it stuns you and you kind of sit there for a minute. Easy to avoid though, they move relatively slow. Now these pulsing light beams she will cast, and they just kind of circle around. They don't necessarily follow a specific path, so just pay attention to when they're coming on your side and move out of the way. Again, the Stardust needs to be interrupted whenever possible, because it does do a lot of damage. The range should just try to avoid being in the water right there. There's a rock in the middle where the tanks. Yeah, I just got hit with that. I was kind of just dicking around, got hit with that white beam, so get stunned for a little bit, fall behind in my healing. Now she starts dropping these blue explosions. They're relatively easy to avoid. Not too much damage done by them. But break her down, kill her, head back, and that is the final of the 4 initial bosses, 2 of which you will do each run, and then you move on to the final boss, which is Murrow. He is one of the infinite dragonflight, and this is a very interesting fight. Now these trash pulls, there's 2 summoners and then 2 just crap guys. You want to CC at least one of the summoners, because they will do a decent amount of damage. So take care of one of the summoners, or at least. I think we tried to take care of 2 of them at a time. Now I'm just going to speed this up here. And grab the second group, who is standing around that crystal in the middle. Now that crystal in the middle, the time hourglass, that's what's called, in the middle, is very, very important. Once you engage the boss, you get 5 essentially time travels to use. What'll happen is the boss's life does not change, but you, if you're dead, if you're low on health, whatever, you go back to the original starting position. And you'll see what I mean once we engage the boss here. And you can see we got those 5 hourglasses right below my character. Now what's going to happen is the tank's going to want to turn the boss, because his tail does damage and he does a nasty cone attack in the front. And then there's that AoE attack he does. The tank can stand there and easily take it. Melee, stand off to the side a little bit so you avoid the cone attack and don't go behind him because of his tail. Now on the ground you'll see these yellow spiraling circles. They're very easy to avoid because that globe shows up first and then it gets launched on. You're going to want to stay out of those. And as you can see, they're starting to get very, very clustered, and you're going to want to try and keep them all together. But what's going to happen is somebody's going to, at a certain point, somebody's going to click the, you're going to be like, okay, click the hourglass, and that's going to it's going to get rid of all the yellow on the ground, refill all your health. Now see, we go until usually either the healer dies or the tank dies or both, and then we click it. And it resets all of your cooldowns. So if you have a mage, if you have a shaman, if you have a hunter that has the pets for hysteria, I think it's hysteria, yeah. If you have a bloodlust of some sort, use it every single time, because the debuff that you get from it goes away and the timer is reset for it. See, we're getting down there. We're trying to push it as far as we can go before using one. And it's getting pretty close here. Now somebody just clicked it. Now we all rewind back to the original place we were when we first engaged the boss. We're all completely healed. All of our cooldowns are completely reset. The only thing that doesn't reset is trinkets. Those stay on cooldown if you use them. But the boss's health is exactly the same, and he's in the exact same position. So now every time you use an hourglass, the frequency for which he shoots those yellow swirlies increases. He shoots them faster, and they get to the target faster, so you have to pay attention to that. If you get down to the last, if you use all 5 hourglasses, it's almost an instant cast. He shoots one every 2 seconds. Like, it's very, very quick, and they get there very fast. Very hard to avoid, so you want to try and use the least amount of hourglasses you can. And as you can see, I'm doing the healing in this, so I basically stay in tree form the entire time, because my cooldown gets reset. And I think we had a mage, so we time warp every single time. Now those things are everywhere. I believe we're gonna go. Now I'm too far away from the tank to keep healing him, so we're just gonna let him die while the DPS is just going off on him. We click the hourglass again, everybody resets, tank is resurrected, brought back, and go back to town on the boss. Now you can see basically 2 of those were shot at the same time. This yellow spirals. Easy to avoid. The more hourglasses you use, the faster they get there. So burn them down as quick as possible. You can usually get about 33 to 35% of the boss down on an average group before having to use 1 hourglass. But that is basically it for this run. I showed you all 4 bosses, 2 of which will be random, and then you'll come to him for the final boss. And give you a little insight on the tactics for each one. If this was helpful to you, let me know in the comments. You want to see some other videos or specific, more in-depth videos of certain bosses, let me know. Subscribe if you liked the video and it's helpful to you. It lets me know, and I continue to try and put out some decent videos. I am Dave from By the Way. I will let this run out until we finish him off, which we just did. And like always, good luck and have fun.